Nice. Run! Yes, go! Yes! No! Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program right here on LSN Television, Time Warner, Channel 9, and also on 90.9 FM, WFCO Radio. And do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners, each and every week where we interview people from within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office and also throughout the community. And special guest this week, in fact, this gentleman will be joining us for the next 2 weeks, Eric Brown with the Fairfield Hocking Major Crimes Unit. He's the commander there. Certainly good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And lots of stuff going on. But I'm certain that there's some listeners out there that may not know a lot about and viewers that may not know a lot about the Fairfield Hocking Major Crimes Unit. So let's first of all start with about that operation, what it is and who's involved.
Well, the Major Crimes Unit was established in 2001 with the assistance of Burn JAG funding, which is a federal government grant. So we were able to get that off the ground. We are a multi-jurisdictional narcotics unit. So we actually take in officers from Pickerington Police Department, the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, Lancaster Police Department, the Hocking County Sheriff's Office, Logan Police Department, and then the Hocking County Prosecutor and the Fairfield County Prosecutor's Office. So we have quite a few different entities. We recently partnered with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, so we now have one of their officers assigned to our unit. So yeah, we have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, and just you've been in this business for 20,
this is my 29th year.
29th year. Wow.
29th year. So
you're old.
It's been good. Yeah, it's been a good career.
Good. Well, tell us a little bit about you and about your career and some different.
Well, I started actually at your office at the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office in December of 1982.
Okay.
So and had a lot of great opportunities there through the years. Worked my way through that office in a lot of different capacities. Mm-hmm. So I had a great career there, and then in 2001. Was assigned into the Major Crimes Unit and have been there ever since. So it's been good.
Now, I guess the one thing that I think's been so important is the fact that you do work with a lot of different agencies within the Fairfield County area. And at one time, everybody just kind of did their own thing. I mean, the Lancaster Police Department had narcotics, detectives, the Sheriff's Office. And so now, for the first time in the history of the county, starting in 2001, we have everybody kind of on the same page, all working in the same direction.
Yeah, it works really well. Again, for the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office and the Lancaster Police Department to work separate narcotics investigations, or even investigations maybe in general anymore, it just didn't make sense anymore. Honestly, each agency was looking at the same individuals more than likely, with different ties, and the way the narcotics trade is anymore, all these individuals know each other or have different associations. So yeah, to come together like that was a huge thing.
Now if you go back to when you started, 1982, a long time ago now, what are some of the major changes that you've seen during all those years?
Well, there's been a lot of changes over the years. There's been a lot of changes in law enforcement in general. I think there's been a lot of changes with dealing with crime and the activities that go along and are associated with that. With the narcotics portion of what we deal with in law enforcement, I think the biggest changes that I've seen are the potency of the drugs that are out there now. Even probably when you started in law enforcement, the potency of narcotics was much lower. What we're seeing today is extremely alarming with how potent these drugs are, and the cost and the things that are associated with that. It's concerning.
So the marijuana, those type of products, 1980, big difference today.
There really
2012.
is. There really is. Marijuana is an example. The THC levels in marijuana in the 60s, 70s, even early 80s was maybe 3%, 6% at best. Today we're seeing marijuana tested in the 20% range, even as high as 30% THC levels, which is an extreme amount.
Now, let's look at what we're seeing here in Fairfield County, what we've seen in the last few years, what trends that you're seeing.
Well, the drug trends that we come across, they change a lot. They really do. One month or for a few months you may be dealing with a heroin issue, and then all of a sudden it'll swing and you'll be dealing with crack cocaine, or a combination of the two. There's been a lot of focus recently on the opiate problem that we're facing here in Fairfield County and Lancaster. So there's been a heightened awareness on that. And the methamphetamine game, that we're dealing with sometimes, that comes into play. So, those trends just can't change constantly. Prescription medications is another item that comes into play on a consistent basis. So, you're dealing with multiple types of narcotics, and it's kind of a different situation every day.
So let's kind of go through it. Let's say a citizen out there that's listening or watching today suspects some narcotics activity, sees something unusual, they call it into your office, and you do have a number that you take calls, right?
Yeah, we absolutely do. We have a tip line, which is extremely important to us, because that information that comes in from citizens out in the communities are pieces of those puzzles that we truly need to build those cases.
Well, what is that number?
The number is 740-653-5224. And when they come into the line, they just follow the prompts and they can get right into our tip line. Very important for us.
Okay, so what happens when a call comes into you? What happens to those complaints?
When that call comes in, the information that we have, again, that information is put into an intelligence report, and then we actually follow up on that information. Sometimes callers, when they call in, they don't want to be contacted. They want to stay anonymous, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
The information alone, again, is extremely important to us. But if they do want to call back, all they have to do is leave their number, and then we'll be in contact with them. But again, we'll take that information and actually put that into an intelligence report, and then put that into our system, because those are, again, the information that we need to refer back to on a consistent basis with the different things that are going on in the community.
And so, because these investigations can take a long time, someone may not see results overnight. So it may take a while.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And the citizens sometimes want the instant gratification, and it's hard for us to provide that. But we try to work on those cases, and there are times it could take months, even a year, to put that case together and to build enough information and enough investigation to actually take care of an issue in a neighborhood.
We have at least one drug overdose death a month in Fairfield County, and so that's alarming. And I guess if a parent is out there listening or watching the program today, what are some things they may want to look for in their kids?
Well, I think there's a lot of different things that a parent or a loved one can look at, with someone they feel that's in trouble. Naturally the physical and psychological changes that an individual starts to actually show, I think, are very important signs. When you as a parent or a loved one see someone and all of a sudden, there's a complete 180.
Maybe they're sleeping a lot, maybe their grades have fallen off, maybe they're hanging around with some questionable kids.
Yeah. I think those are very good signs, and I think really the key, and I talk to a lot of parents and a lot of loved ones every day, that are in trouble, and they're trying to help people that they truly care about. And, communication's the key. Don't ignore those signs. Don't ignore that gut feeling that something's not right, and open those lines of communication.
And I think parents many times will say, there's no way that my kid would be involved in these kind of activities. It just, they're going to a good school, we're going to church, we have a good family. But we know very well that this stuff can happen to anyone.
Absolutely. Anymore there's really no socio-economic barriers anymore. And it's unfortunate. We see a lot of, people who are good people and get into problems personally and maybe turn to narcotics for whatever reason that may be. And, that happens. There's a lot of good help out there for these individuals.
And I think that's a good point. It seemed to me that at one time, if you looked at the population in the Fairfield County Jail, you would look at, by and large, families that were dysfunctional. You would look at maybe the kids not going to a good school. You might look at who they were hanging around with. Did they have a faith? The media might have played a part in those kind of things. And those things kind of all played into themselves. But today, and I can't guess what percentage that is, maybe 20% of our jail population that get involved in these drugs are kids from good families. They got great parents. They're going to church. They're going to a good school. They've got all this positive things going for them, but they experiment with these opiates, these pills, and the next thing you know, they're intravenous drug users breaking in houses. I mean, how many times have we seen that pattern?
Well, that vicious circle of crime, no doubt. With the drug use and the desperation that goes along with the addiction, fuels that vicious circle of crime, as you're well aware of, Sheriff. And, it causes problems all the way around for us.
Absolutely. We have Eric Brown with us from the Fairfield Hockey Major Crimes Unit talking about things going on in Fairfield County. Now, one thing, a few months ago, major arrest, I think there were 82 individuals that were arrested in and around Fairfield County. Tell us a little bit about that investigation.
Well, that was an operation that took around 6 months to complete. And, that was, our agents going out in the field and trying to look for these individuals. I have to give credit where credit's due there, especially on that particular operation, because we received a lot of calls from individuals out in the community that saw things going on in and around their residences, in and around the neighborhoods, and they'd call in that information. As we said in the beginning of the program, that's extremely important for us. We were able to go out, target some of these individuals that are dealing narcotics in our community, and put them in jail and hopefully send them to prison for their activities.
And I think a lot of people, when they think about 82 drug dealers in and around Lancaster and Fairfield County, they're going, wow, how can that be?
Yeah.
And I always remind people that Fairfield County is a safe and secure community. And one thing that I think that we have done is a pretty good job of educating the community of what's going on. We don't kind of hide it under the carpet. We let people know what's going on. And we are in no worse shape than many communities throughout Central Ohio and throughout the state of Ohio. But I think we've done probably as good a job as you could possibly do letting people know.
Well, the Opiate Task Force in itself, when that was formed, that was something. I don't know of very few communities that would come together like that and say, hey, we have a problem here and we want to get ahead of it before it's too late. And that brought a lot of awareness. But I think you're right, Sheriff. We aren't really experiencing anything here in this community that other communities aren't experiencing also. It's a problem everywhere. It's good to have the community involved.
Well, the clock on the wall says we're just about out of time. I'd like to have you back next week and maybe talk about some of the prior investigations that you've done. There's been a lot of different things going on, some major investigations that you guys have been involved in the last few years in Fairfield County. So I'd like to have you back.
Thank you.
With us this day is Eric Brown, the commander of the Fairfield Hockey Major Crimes Unit. Do appreciate you, the viewer and listener, each and every week, and certainly the folks here at Fairfield Christian Academy that actually produce and put this program together for me each and every week. Well, until next week, same time, same place. If you're out there driving, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.